Alright guys, my name is Shervin. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the best credit cards for debt repayment. Now, according to the government, about 29% of Canadians are in a substantial amount of credit card debt, which is absolutely crazy. In fact, most of these are just young people who think they can just buy stuff now with their credit card and pay for it later, not realizing how fast their debt can pile up. Now, currently, the interest rate on an average credit card is around 20%, which makes it all the more difficult to pay off your credit card debt because the interest keeps accruing every single month. But the good news is that there is one tool that can help you with your debt repayments, and that is low interest rate credit cards. These are cards that offer no interest rates on your balance for a specific amount of time, and even after that, they offer much lower interest rates than the average 20%. And while these cards don't offer any rewards or privileges for owning them, they allow you to transfer all your balance from your other cards to this card so that for a while you don't have to pay any more interest on your debt. Which can of course help you a ton when it comes to repaying your credit card debt because you don't have to worry about the interest accruing every single month on top of what you're paying already. Now, if you watch to the end of the video, I'm going to walk you through the top 3 best low interest rate credit cards available in Canada. And I'm going to walk you through exactly what each of them offer and which option is the best one for you specifically. But before we get into it, if you are new to my channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the subscribe button down below and join the community. I make new videos about personal finance and investing on a regular basis. And by subscribing to the channel, you get to see all my new videos right as they come out. Also, if you enjoyed the video and want to support me even more, then do me a favor and smash the like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. But alright, with all that said, let's get right into it with number 3. Now, this card is the MBNA Trueline Mastercard, and it offers 0% interest for the first 12 months. That right there is 1 year of no extra interest on your balance and 1 year that you can just focus on repaying your debt without having to worry about anything else. Additionally, after the first 12 months, the interest rate will be at 12.99%, which is much lower than the average 20%. So even if 1 year isn't enough time for you to pay off all your debt, you would still at least have to pay a lower interest rate going forward than just using a normal average credit card. Now, this card also has no annual fees whatsoever, so you don't have to pay anything to own the card. And basically, as long as you are a Canadian resident and the age of majority, you will be eligible for this card. Now, this looks like a great option, right? So why is it all the way down at 3rd place? Well, the only downside of this card is that it has a 3% transfer rate for any money that you transfer from other cards to this card. Now, this 3% transfer fee is actually quite a bit higher than the other 2 cards that we're going to go over. And that's why even though this card has some amazing features, that transfer fee is just way too high in my opinion. That will be another 3% on top of your debt, which would be quite a bit. And since there are other cards that offer lower rates when it comes to the transfer fee, I would just prefer to go with those other cards instead. So on to the 2nd place, and we have the Scotiabank Value Visa card. Now, this card offers the 0% rate for the first 6 months of you owning the card instead of the first 12 months, unlike the last card. But then after the first 6 months, the interest rate will be 12.99%. Now, this card has an annual fee of $29, which is very low and very manageable for everyone. But of course, here's the best part about this card, and that's the fact that the transfer fee for this card is only 1%. Now, what this means is that if you can pay off your debt within the first 6 months, then you should definitely go with this card over the MBNA Trueline Mastercard. You would pay far less in the balance transfer fee, and even though you have to pay $29 for the annual fee, that's nothing compared to the 2% that you're saving on the balance transfer fee. But of course, if you estimate that it's going to take you at least a year, if not more, to pay off your debt, then in that case, it might be better to go with the MBNA card and just pay the higher transfer fee just so you can have more months of not having to pay any interest on your balance. Again, it's going to be very case by case as far as whether you should go with the Scotiabank card or the MBNA card. But what's for sure is that if you can pay off your debt in the first 6 months, then you should definitely not go with the MBNA card and pay the lower transfer fee on the Scotiabank card. And of course, on the other hand, if you have a humongous amount of credit card debt and there's no way you can pay it off in 1 year, then you should probably just go with the MBNA card. Well, at least over the Scotiabank card. Remember, there's still another card that we have to go through. And that is none other than the CIBC Select Visa card, which is a card that offers you 0% interest for the first 10 months. Now, obviously, this card is much closer to the MBNA card as far as how long you can enjoy a 0% interest rate. Although this card will have a slightly higher interest rate after the 0% period ends compared to the other 2. And that's because this card has a 13.99% interest rate after the first 10 months. Now, this card also has an annual fee of $29, but for the first year, you get a free rebate on this fee. So really, you can just think of this card as completely free to own for the first year. And of course, just like the Scotiabank card, this card also has a 1% balance transfer fee. So essentially, this card is the exact same thing as the Scotiabank card, except you can actually have 0% interest for 10 months instead of just 6 months. Now, this card also has a minimum household requirement of at least $15,000, which is fairly easy to be eligible for as long as you're employed for anything pretty much. So it is fairly easy to qualify for. It has the lowest balance transfer fee out of all of these cards. And sure, while it doesn't give you 12 months like the MBNA card, it's fairly close with 10 months of 0% interest rate. And yes, after the first 10 months, the interest rate is slightly higher than the other cards at $13.99 instead of just $12.99%. But given all the benefits that we just went through, I'd say the pros outweigh the cons by a lot. So just to quickly recap, I would suggest you go with the CIBC Select Visa card first. If you can transfer all your debt to this card, then you should just go ahead and do that. But if you can't, because let's say you have a higher amount of debt than the amount of credit available to you for this card, then I would go with the Scotiabank Value Visa card second and the MBNA card third. Now, for some of you, you may have to open all 3 cards in order to spread your debt among all of them. In that case, I would recommend paying off the Scotiabank Visa card first because remember, you only have 6 months of 0% interest. Now, I know the subject of debt repayment can be very confusing and very complicated. So as always, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. I always respond to every single question that comes in. Now, that's about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you haven't done so already, make sure to smash the subscribe button down below and join the community. Feel free to follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Shervin House. And with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.